let's go to the wall and funding, right? So let's break this down because there's a lot of people up in arms now about saying that Trump has sold out, that Trump never meant it, that Trump won his number one campaign promise, didn't get fulfilled, and that he caved to the Democrats, and Limbaugh saying he got nothing, and Ann Coulter doing a blistering op-ed yesterday in Breitbart, blasting the president, said it was going to cost him re-election. Ann lives in New York. I love Ann to death, but I disagree. Now, here's number one. Last night, senators approved a spending bill that would keep the government funded through February 8th and leave the question of funding the wall for the new year. The bill is expected to pass the House today, and it will be sent to the president before the deadline midnight on Friday. The president should sign this bill because having a government shutdown a day before Christmas is insanity beyond belief. And the Democrats beat him. The Democrats beat him, but it's not because they outmaneuvered him. They beat him because of Paul Ryan. First of all, you cannot shut the government down 2 days before Christmas. Stop! It is PR insanity. It is beyond the pale of any stupid thing you would possibly do. And stop with the government shutdown. The whole thing is asinine. And the Republicans will always lose. But here's what they could have done. And here's what happened. The president had 2 years to get this done. He had a Republican Congress in both houses. At the end, he still had a Republican majority in a lame duck Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump didn't have the votes for the lousy $5 billion for this wall in his own caucus. Do you get this? He didn't have the votes in his own caucus for 2 years in the House. He never had the votes. Never. It's Republicans who killed this. It's not Schumer and Pelosi. Republicans killed it. Had they been able to pass a spending bill in the House of Representatives 2 weeks ago with the $5 billion, they would have sent it to the Senate. And then 60 votes, Schumer would have blocked it, and it would have been Schumer's shutdown. They couldn't send them a bill. You know why? Because the feckless weasel, do-nothing, Whig Party Republicans in Congress couldn't even give him a one-vote majority on a $5 billion wall with their budget. They couldn't even do it. They couldn't send it to him. And when the president was saying, well, there's no sense of doing it because I can't get 60 votes, the president's a better negotiator than that. He knew he didn't have the votes in his own caucus. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, because you saw it. You saw it in black and white. Here it is. This is the epitome of what I've been saying for 8 years. This is the unholy alliance come to life right before your eyes between Goldman Sachs, donor-based, country club Republicans who only care about getting reelected and getting money from Wall Street. They want open borders for cheap labor because that's where their funding comes from. And the unholy alliance with Democrats, some of them getting the same money from Lower Manhattan, the other half don't want any barrier because they want open borders, because they want to transform the country and get new Democratic voters in that they can't cultivate themselves, so they simply bring them in by the millions, register them to vote, give them food stamps, give them a phone, give them housing, give them education, put them in the emergency rooms of every hospital in America, and register them to vote Democratic because they get free stuff. Simple. They change it for life. Trump couldn't get his own caucus to back the wall, and now you want to blame the president. It is an insane argument that Ann Coulter's making. Now, I like Ann, and I get she's upset. We're all upset. But what was the president going to do? Shutting the government down is stupid. It only will get worse. You got to fight this battle a different way. Now, here's what he needs to do. He needs to take the money from the other sources, and he needs to build whatever he can. I don't care if it's 100 feet. Build it. And one of the other things that's annoying here is we've gone from a concrete wall to steel slabs. I don't know what is the best wall type to build. Maybe you go to Israel and copy that. I don't know what the best kind is. I'm not an architect. But we need a barrier. And, call it, I don't care if it's steel, and I get the idea where you have to see through it. I kind of get that. But whatever it is, and he's going to get sued. He's going to get sued, and some judge is going to stop and say, you can't take that money. Let it play out at the Supreme Court. Make it a campaign issue. Fight. But he couldn't get the votes in his own caucus because of the unholy alliance. And until you get that, this is simply going to go on and on and on. They say, oh, the Trump base is depressed now. We couldn't get the wall. Let's do a shutdown. Yeah, let's drive the truck off the bridge when we get to the end of the road. That'll do it. I mean, there's got to be a better way here. And shutting the government down to make some point before Christmas when you couldn't even get your own caucus to back it because they don't believe in it because they want open borders. Everybody wants open borders because they all make money. Money, money, money. It's why they don't want to get out of Syria. And now it's why we can't have a wall. Republicans want one thing. And Wall Street, they want an unrelenting source of cheap labor and lower wages to drive stakeholder value so they can make more money, period. Democrats want cheap votes. This is it, and you saw it play out here in the last month. Does this make any sense? To blame the president, everything he has tried to do for border security has been thwarted by the Ninth Circuit. He tried to change the asylum laws. He tried to do a travel ban. He tried to keep people on the other side. Doesn't matter what he does. This is a battle for the soul of America. And it has nothing to do with people running around saying, that's not who we are. It's look at the Statue of Liberty. We'll take your weak, your lame, whatever, bring them in. No, this is about money and votes. I would have more respect for the weasel wig Republicans. That's what they are. Weasel wig Republicans. I would have more respect for them if they were candid and said, no, I can't go for wall because I won't get donations from my Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, gangster banksters that simply want a never-ending flow of cheap labor and to drive down wages. I would get more respect. I would have more respect for the Democrats and Schumer if they simply said, are you kidding? I don't want a wall. These are votes. These are vote harvesting. I'm harvesting the future. So we can get Democratic liberal majorities in perpetuity till the country eventually collapses. And then, a handful of us will be the elites and everybody else, let them eat cake. And they'll be in food lines. But, we'll be at the top of the mountain calling the shots because we're the elites. I don't know. What did you expect the president to do? What did Ann Coulter expect him to do? Shut the government down before Christmas and have CNN and MSNBC and everybody else, NBC, ABC, and CBS, 24 hours a day, show you about the person who didn't get paid, who can't buy their kids gifts. I mean, stop. Stupid. He didn't have the votes in his own caucus. If he had the votes in his own caucus, he could have gotten this $5 billion, sent it to the Senate, and then he could have challenged Mitch McConnell and his 2-seat majority, or one, or whatever it is right now, to get rid of the 60-vote cloture rule. He could have challenged him publicly. Get rid of it. You got 5 days to vote and get rid of it and put everybody on record. I mean, that was the way to do this. Not having a fight with, look, here's where I blame him. The public fight with Schumer and Pelosi in the Oval Office was dumb. You can't win this stuff. Whenever you get the media involved in something like this, you are going to lose. You have got to go directly to the people and say, do you want your country overrun or not? And if you do, vote me out. If you want a country, then let's apply pressure. This is what the president should have done. He didn't do it. Why didn't he do it? Not because of Ann Coulter saying he didn't care or he lied. No, he didn't have the votes in his own party. Do you get that? What did you expect him to do? Maybe shutting the government down for a day, you get your rocks off. Oh, the president shut the government down. He's tough. No, it's dumb. And it's not the answer. He had 2 years to get this done, and he couldn't get the votes in his own house. Because they don't want him to succeed. There are more Republicans in elected office that want to see him go. They don't want him to succeed. They want him to fail. Because he is a challenge to the entire swamp matrix. The pig trough. He's a challenge to the whole thing. And so they're going to investigate him and they're going to drive him out of office. And they're going to send the message. Only politicians need apply. Only insiders need apply. Only swamp creatures that will perpetuate our cash flow and our lavish lifestyle while producing and doing nothing need apply. No more outsiders, no more business people. No, we want politicians that understand no matter who wins, you have the uni party and you perpetuate the swamp. Paul Ryan yesterday making his farewell speech. Oh my God. Good riddance. Don't let the door hit you in the keister on the way out. What a disaster he has been. Go home and make your Girl Scout cookies or whatever you do.